Okay, today I'm going to show you how to work with a Nikon D3100 camera. And so this is just, not only am I showing you how to use the camera, I'm also shooting with a D3100 today. So the first thing you want to do is, for good camera shooting quality, I prefer to do the manual mode. It gives you more access where you can adjust your zoom, but you also adjust your focus. It's a manual focus. If you have it on the automatic, you'll see when you have it on the automatic, you can't move your focus, which is right here at this ring on the very front. And so I prefer to have the manual focus. It gives you a little bit more control, especially with video, because an autofocus sometimes doesn't work right. The quality doesn't go with what you want it to. Alright, and so then the next, what we're going to do is we're going to turn to the back, and you're going to see we want to keep the shooting mode, this ring up top. We want to make the shooting mode into a manual. As you see, it's the M. This M right here is that manual mode. And then we're going to go down and we're going to hit the info. And that is this I button right here, and you see it changes that screen. And so the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to go down to our white balance. And as you see, right now it's on like an incandescent light, so if you have like lamps or something where it's a little bit darker, it also shows you in the view what it could be. The 4 is a fluorescent light, a cool white fluorescent. That would be like any time of like office building or things like that where you have just the overhead fluorescent. Direct sunlight is one that I'm using right now. I'm using a box that's got close to direct sunlight, so that's why this video looks the way it does. But this is if you're outside and you have really direct sunlight. You also have a bunch of other ones. Flash is more used for camera, for pictures versus taking video. And then you have cloudy, you have a shade, so if you're outside but you are under the shade of a building or something. And then you can do like a preset manual. So I'm going to keep it, I'm just going to put it at auto for right now. Auto is what you would use like if you've got a mixture of light. The ISO sensitivity, that's basically you're pulling light from inside of the picture itself. And so as you see, 100, 200, 400, it doubles. It goes all the way up to 32. And so that one, see, that's a darker scene where there's light. There is light in the background, but it's darker. And so this brings out more of the contrast in those, where like flowers, you don't need to use a contrast, especially if they're in direct sunlight. So I'm just going to put it at a 400. Next, you're going to do the ADL, which is the active D lighting. You want to make sure that's on at all times. And your movie settings, you want to make, for a good movie, you want to have a 1080 by 24 frames per second. That just gives you, it's a higher quality, and the faster it goes. If you have a camera that's got a better quality, I would put it up as the best quality as you can. It's better for editing later on. The next thing what you're going to do is make sure that the exposure and the flash compensation are both at 0. We don't need flash right now, especially in taking a video. It's kind of distracting, especially if you're going to use like regular stage lights. And then what we're going to do after that is we're going to double check our shutter speed. And as you see, our shutter speed is at 1/50th of a second, and that's a really good shutter speed for video. And our aperture is like how big your opening is, and I'm not sure how well you can see that. How big your opening is for light to come in. And as you see it getting smaller and wider. I mean, it's zooming in, but it's also letting in a certain amount of light. And in order to change to live view so that you can watch what you're doing while you're shooting, it's this button right here, and you just let it go over and it switches back and forth. Live view, especially if you're going to be shooting video, I would have another camera or another camera battery, just because having the live view on actually really kills your battery. And so so if you want to start recording, I don't have a memory card, so it's not going to let me, but you flip over to the live view and you just hit this red button right here, and it'll start recording. And then to stop it, you would just hit it again.